Hello, everyone, and I'm the coach of the Diancies, and this is week 2 of season 4 of the PLBA. Last week we got a pretty sweet victory, which is pretty nice, and we're hoping to take another one against honestly one of the scarier teams in this league. And you will see why very, very soon. The team comprises of Mega Houndoom, Skarmory, Toxtricity, Primarina, Torkoal, Venusaur, Bruxish, Zygarde 50%, Galarian Corsola, Buzzwole, and Dubwool. The Zygarde 50% is very, very terrifying, as my basically answer to it is I don't have one. Because Celesteela gets knocked down by 1,000 arrows, and now that's taking a super effective hit. Seismitoad is a Seismitoad, and as you can see, I made it specially defensive, so yeah. Rhyperior also is weak to 1,000 arrows, and essentially just kind of my entire team doesn't like taking Banded 1,000 arrows or Dragon Dance 1,000 arrows. So I assume that my opponent will bring one of those two sets, either Dragon Dance 1,000 arrows or Banded 1,000 arrows. I'm especially scared of Sub Dragon Dance 1,000 arrows, and then I don't know, it could even be like Rest, or it can be Dragon Move or whatever, something. The Sun Core with Torkoal and Mega Houndoom was also especially scary, because those can also destroy my entire team. Venusaur, if Celesteela goes down, could also be very, very, very scary. And Primarina, honestly, is also just kind of mows through my entire team. Galarian Corsola is just Galarian Corsola. It's great at stalling. That's what it does. And as for the other mons, I mean, Toxtricity does like a bit, but it can't get past Rhyperior. And Buzzwole also does a bit. So as long as I don't let it get too out of hand with Beast Boost, I should be okay with that. So that's essentially the rundown of my opponent's team, and let's go to the team that I brought in order to take care of this massive threat. So first off, I got Seismitoad. I got Stealth Rocks, because Stealth Rocks are very, very good at what I want to do. What I want to do is I basically want to weaken my opponent's mons, chip them down, and then basically just win with Gardevoir or Morpeko, or just basically get them down and then clean up from there. I have knockoff for stuff like Galarian Corsola and the Torkoal, and just basically anything on my opponent's team is a lot stronger without the item. Which is also great. I have Ice Punch for Zygarde, and I have Earthquake for just kind of a good move. This Pokemon, the Seismitoad, can't really handle Skarmory, but I do have other mons such as my Dracozolt and not my Celesteela and my Morpeko for said Skarmory, plus I have 3 electric types, so Skarmory might not even come. I made it mostly specially defensive, with a bit of defensive investment in there, and of course max HP. Next is Dracozolt with Hustle Blunder Policy. This was a bad move. I should not have done this. I should have just run Scarf and run Dual Scarf with Gardevoir. It would have worked a lot better than it did. Spoiler alert. But essentially the goal with this is, if I can miss something with Hustle at the right time, then I basically win if I manage to hit my other moves, since I've not locked my Choice Scarf. However, in hindsight, that is very bad, because that is very RNG dependent, and the chances of that not happening are a lot higher than they are for where it will happen. So I have Bolt Beak, I have Earthquake, Dragon Claw and Outrage just for coverage. Outrage is basically the only thing that has a really, really good chance of killing Zygarde. Can't remember if it was from full or after it switched into rocks like maybe once or twice. But yeah, Dragon Claw just like didn't do the damage that I needed it to do compared to Outrage. So that's why I have Outrage as well as Dragon Claw on there. And just max because I need to be as fast as possible. And if I remember correctly, there was something I sped up where I actually needed to be as fast as possible. Or it was some speed dive thing. I think it was Primarina, where I speed down at Primarina. Sorry, it was something like that. Um, sorry, I'm kind of sick right now, so I'm getting better. Just I'm sorry. Next is my Rhyperior, which is my answer to this Zygardian. Um, Fun fact: even though it is 1,000 arrows with Solid Rock, the ability that is Solid Rock, I only take about 30% from an unboosted 1,000 arrows. Well, 33%. I think min or max, just or somewhere around there. I don't know, somewhere around there. But what's important is that it's a 3-hit KO. And like a pretty good 3-hit KO, honestly. Might even be a 4-hit KO in some cases. Um, yeah, after +1, I believe the 1,000 arrows only does like 50%, so it still doesn't kill after leftovers, which is sweet, and then I can kill in return with Ice Punch. I have Earthquake and Rock Slide just as good dual stab, and I have Rest if ever I need to rest. Or if I like get whisked by Corsola, or if something happens and I need to rest, I can rest. Although I don't expect to use that move. 16 attack because I forget, and the rest is the rest. Next is Scarf of War. I can essentially use my opponent's Sun Core against them with this Pokemon. Like if Houndoom switches in, I'm faster than it, and I can fire off huge solar power attacks, such as Moonblast and stuff. I have Healing Wish, because it's just really good because for Rhyperior and Celesteela are good at walling specific things, just like last week, and I need to keep them healthy for whatever threat is there. Like if Zygarde is still there and I can't beat it because as long as I can just send in Gardevoir, and just say, haha, I'm a Healing Wish now. Although I probably wouldn't do that on Zygarde because either I would die or I would attack the Zygarde. But with something like, I don't know, maybe Houndoom or something, if it has like I don't know, something, I might do it. Like Buzzwole or I really don't know. Just something happens, I need to Healing Wish, I can Healing Wish. And then I just have Thunderbolts or Skarmory. Never know. Next is the Celesteela. So I have Heavy Slam, Leech Seed, Iron Protect, yes. Protect and Iron Defense. Iron Defense is essentially just, if I have to use this thing to prevent Zygarde from Dragon Dancing, I can. And then Leech Seed Protect because I need to keep Celesteela healthy by any means possible. And Leech Seed Protect and Leftovers is a great way to do that with just passive recovery and just slowly making my opponent hate me. Then Heavy Slam is just a good attacking move because it hits, well, basically a lot of stuff hard. I ran Earthquake on this set before because of Earthquake and just how good Earthquake was against that. And in fact, I probably should have run Earthquake, or at least like something cool like that. But I think Heavy Slam is still okay, and it's not like this Corsola, not like the Celesteela needs to be like an attacking Pokemon anyway. Its main role is to use those last 3 moves of Leaf Seed, Protect, and Iron Defense. And I have a bit of Fizdef and a bit of Spadef. And that's basically the Pokemon there. And finally, my Morpeko, which I really just brought to Rapid Spin and to get momentum. Parting Shot is pretty good here because, one, it weakens my opponent's defense. Like, if Mega Houndoom's in and I just Parting Shot on that, then the Houndoom is a lot less scarier. Second, it gives me momentum so I can, like, switch into Dragozol or I can switch into Gardevoir or whatever I need to switch into. And essentially just cancel out my opponent from having any momentum. Protect because Morpeko always runs Protect. Rapid Spin because Rapid Spin, and then Aura Wheel because it's just a good attacking move. And I have Heavy Duty Boots, just to make sure that the whole Rapid Spin roll works the way it does. So as for what mons I expect my opponent to bring, I would definitely expect the Sun Core, Torkoal, Houndoom, and maybe Venusaur. Venusaur, I'm kind of on the fence, but it might happen, it might not, given the fact that I have Seismitoad and a Rhyperior. It might happen, but given the fact that I also have a Celesteela, it might not. Yeah. So, what's next? Primarina could come, could not come. I'm hoping it doesn't because it's kind of scary for my team. But if it does, I can probably play around it with something. I don't really know. Toxicity also is a possibility, but I don't really expect it. Skarmory is a possibility. Don't really expect it. Zygarde 50% is 100% coming. There is absolutely no doubt. If my opponent does not bring Zygarde 50%, I really don't know what to say. Because it just makes way too much sense to do that. Maybe Galarian Corsola, maybe Double, maybe Buzzwole, I don't know. They're all kind of that. So basically, just Houndoom, Torkoal, Zygarde 50% are mods I've locked in, and then for the remaining mods, you can just kind of choose 3 and do whatever. Just not Bruxish. I don't expect Bruxish to come at all. And on Double, I'm sort of on the low end of maybe Double will come, but I don't think it will. But as for the rest, you can kind of just pick 3 from there, and then it'll probably work. I don't know. But yeah, let's just get to the battle here. Ooh. Ooh, that's that. There we go. I think that works the way it is. Yeah. So, Suncore came, Zygarde came, and then Venusaur came, which is cool. Buzzwole came, which is cool, and then Galarian Corsola came, which I really don't like because it is Galarian Corsola in general, and not for any other reason. What am I doing? This is very not smart. So, let's start. So, I lead off with Gardevoir here. And the reason I lead off with Gardevoir here is because if my opponent leads Zygarde and I lead literally anything else, I am in a horrible position. So I basically have to lead Gardevoir for that reason and for literally no other reason. Thankfully for me, my opponent does not lead Zygarde, but instead leads Torkoal, which I immediately Psychic as they get rocks up. I can probably rapid spin those later. I don't think Corsola is going to come in on Morpeko. So here I go, Dracozolt, because I know that they're going to switch into Houndoom. And Dracozolt, I'd rather Dracozolt take the hit than any of my walls because I need all my walls. So this Dracozolt just kind of dies, unfortunately. But that's the way it works. Sometimes that just happens. Yeah. So I won't let Houndoom go down here, which, in my opinion, I thought this was a big misplay for my opponent because Houndoom was incredibly threatening on my team. Like Fire Blast, Dark Pulse, Solar Beam, I don't know, maybe Sub, I don't really know, whatever, some other move, just kind of destroys me. Like, if you look at my team and then you look at the matchup against that, it's a bad time. So, I'm very happy that Houndoom goes down right here. But I'm pretty sure that Corsola can just come in right here. And yeah, that it does, which is very, very fun. So I goes Celesteela. Yeah, as it reveals itself to be the Iron Defense Amnesia set, which is my least favorite set to play against because of how stupidly stally it is. At least it reveals Amnesia, and yep, there's the Iron Defense that we all expected. So yeah. There's that, I'm leashing it, and now the Zygarde comes in. It's like, well, it's not going to stay in because I can just kind of do that. I'm just going to Iron Defense for Zygarde. And look at what happens. It does that. If Torkoal came in, I probably could have gone Seismitoad or Rhyperior. It would have been okay. But yeah, now I just get to leech seed the snack, and start stalling it out. But I go Rhyperior here because, I can just continue. Because of that reason, I can just continue stalling the Zygarde out, so there's no reason for the Zygarde to stay in. They already know I have Protect. If I remember correctly, or at least... No, they actually don't know I have Protect. But they do know that I can just kind of continue to spam Iron Defense and just do that the way that happens. So I go into Rhyperior here. Plus, since my Rhyperior is my answer to Zygarde, it works both ways. Sorry. But this is good for me because I can now just kind of kill this Torkoal for some reason that is not Buzzwole comes in for some reason. Yeah. But I could have Fire Punch the Buzzwole thing that happens anyway. So I just send in Celesteela here on this Venusaur because it is my way to deal with said Venusaur. Now all I have to do is basically stall out the sun. Because once the sun goes out, Venusaur is a useless trash that gets walled by Celesteela. So it reveals growth, and now it basically has to switch out because Gardevoir outspeeds it because of the Trace ability into the Chlorophyll ability. And so I just get to power up the Psychic, which weakens this Corsola a bit more, and I just get to continue stalling out the sun. So I send in Seismitoad here, just, so Celesteela doesn't take any more damage than it needs to, because I still need Celesteela for that Zygarde, and for that Venusaur, and for that Buzzwole. It works for basically all of them. And now I just get to knock off something, and it turns out to be this Venusaur's weakness policy, which is pretty cool. No. As for the reason why I go more Pico here, I'm looking at my team, and I realize that really not a lot of stuff can take a hit. Like, Celesteela can take a hit, it can take a Giga Drain, but nothing else can. And then I'm just looking at this Morpeko here, and I'm like, well, do I really need this thing? Does it have any value whatsoever? And the answer to that question is no. No, it does not. So I send this Morpeko in, and it dies. I also did not know Venusaur had Weather Ball at this point, so had I sent in Celesteela, I think I would have just lost the game, which is very fun, and is something that I definitely did not want to have happen. So I'm glad that I used Morpeko there, and not Celesteela, because that would have sucked for me. Jeez. So I can kind of just go Gardevoir here now, and just continue to do the thing that Gardevoir does, which is kind of do that. But since I know that's going to happen, I go back into Seismitoad, and they stand, which is what I did not want to happen. So now I have to go Celesteela onto this Buzzwole, and I'm like, okay, I'll Leech Seed, I'll start stalling it, I can set out some Iron Defenses, and it clicks Thunder Punch, and it does way too much damage, and I miss Leech Seed, and now I am going to cry. So this is very bad for me, because the Celesteela is getting destroyed by a Buzzwole, and I am not going good. So here, I make the stupidest play that I could have, other than keeping Celesteela in. And that is to sacrifice my Gardevoir here. Now, why is that stupid? Because Gardevoir kinda kills everything. It just gets to fire off Moonblast and Psychic on the entire team, and it can just do that with basically 3. And so, of course, I do not go into Seismitoad, I do not go into Rhyperior. No, I just go into my Gardevoir and let it go down, because I'm not smart. But, sometimes we just bake this place. Yeah, that happened. So now I have to go into Rhyperior, and I'm like, well, I lose now. So I just kind of have to Rock Slide, go into Venusaur. Cool, did 42%. Cool. Since I know this thing can't touch me, I can just go back into Celesteela. My opponent knows that too. So, of course, I just Rock Slide again. Plus, in my weird solid rocky head, I might think that I might live a Giga Drain, which is a thing that happens. So, yeah. Now I just chonk a superpower to the face because Solid Rock is an amazing midi. Amazing ability. I cannot talk. Amazing ability. And so I can just kind of continue to spam Rock Slide. And then this Venusaur was on one. And I am very upset because I needed this thing to die. And it's kind of stupid the way that happened. So now it gets to Giga Drain. And now I am very unhappy. But yeah. So I Leech Seed here. And now I Iron Defense here because I have to. I can live 1,000 arrows, you know. So this Dragon Dance, Iron Defense, because this is my way of stopping the Zygarde right now from doing the thing that it does. And now I can just kind of continue to stall this thing out. Like you see, it only did 25%. But like next time it's going to do 50% because it is now super effective. That's the way 1,000 arrows works, by the way. It's kind of, I don't know. But yeah, that's happens there, and now my Celesteela is not a thing. It's about in the state it was when it came back, but it's worse now. So Cornflake comes in, I just Leech Seed it, because of Loyal Health Pack thing. And that shades me, which is not very good. But yeah, I protect here because I have to, or Celesteela dies, and I still don't want Celesteela to die because if Celesteela dies, I lose to Venusaur. Yeah, I don't want it taking additional Nightshade damage, so I just go into Seismitoad here and I just start clicking Earthquake over and over again. Yeah, click Knock Off because basically I just need to keep attacking so that Venusaur doesn't come in. I believe that somewhere in this stall war, I set up Stealth Rocks, just to seal the Venusaur's fate, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah, there I said Stealth Rocks. So now Venusaur can't come in, so now I don't care if Celesteela dies, like, at all. I just need to make sure that, right here you can live it, so I don't lose to Buzzwole, and now I'm basically fine. Because I can basically stall out this Corsola in its entirety with my Seismitoad, and with the Leech Seed damage, it just can't do anything, basically. I'm gonna speed this part up. Because it's just doing this over and over again. And there's basically nothing I can do. Okay, so here, go into Venusaur, attack it off, and that's that. So now Buzzwole does the thing that it does. Yeah, the Gust for Leech Life gets a bit of health back. I decide to Ice Punch it, not realizing that I am at half attack, and as such, it does nothing. So I gotta Celesteal it now because it's like, oh well, it's just gonna Leech Life again, blah 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 blah. And yeah, it Leech Lives again. So at this point, I start to suspect, wait, is it Scarf? And I click Protect, and what do you know? It's Scarf. Because a non-Scarf Buzzwole would not have clicked Leech Life there. So, I can click Leech Seed freely now. That's very fun. Yeah. So, that's the way it happens. But I believe that here I just go into Rhyperior. Because I just need to click Protect the Scout to see what moves it locks into. And if it's Superpower, I'm fine. If it's Thunder Punch, I'm equally fine. You don't know, it's all fine. Yeah, here I can basically just start gaining health with leftovers, and I kind of win now, because Corsola has to Stealth Rocks, and I am at a health where I can live a superpower from the Buzzwole because of the damage that it had done before, meaning that I win. And so superpower is about 50, and go to 18, and there you go, the Rock Slide finishes it off. I probably should have Earthquaked here, actually. Yeah, I have Earthquake on the side. Yeah. I probably should have Earthquaked, just to make sure that it hit, because Earthquake probably would have killed at this point. But it doesn't matter. That's just the way it happened. So yeah, we won again. That's really cool. The next team I'm facing does not have a second 50%, so they're going to instantly be an easier matchup. But when I say stuff like that, that's when I lose because I don't like play as hard, I guess. Because I think like, oh, I have the easier matchup, I'm going to win. So I just need to not do that this time next week. Plus, the opponent I'm playing is very good, at least from what I've seen. So, they could still very, very easily beat me. And that's fun. It's always a good thing to know. That you could lose at any second. Which is why you always have to play very, very carefully. That's kinda it for week 2. I've been your coach of the Diancies, Tapu Oreo. And honestly, I think we'll just kind of see you next time for week 3 of PLBA. Yeah, I'm very glad with the way this one turned out, and I hope the next one turns out this good or better. Yay!